it takes a really, really good friend to be able to deal with your misplaced anger and then hug it out with you. That takes a really good friend, and you know that that is really your friend. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 8, episode 13. As I said when I started here, it takes a really good friend to be able to sit and listen to a person put their whole misplaced anger off on them. I don't know if I could do it. I don't. I'll be ready to choke you. I don't think I can do it, but we're going to talk about it. Toya has misplaced anger completely, but at least we're getting some understanding of where she's coming from at this point. But we're going to talk about it. Anyway, let's go to Club Whitmore first. I love when the guys get together down there at Cecil's little bar. That is Cecil's little haven. Cecil, you can see how much fun that Cecil is having with that bar that he has downstairs in their basement. And it's really cute and everything like that. And they just always seem to be having a good time. Every time the guys get together, they're having a good time. It's the women to be acting the damn fool. But anyway, they're down at Club Whitmore. You got Scott, Cecil, and Eugene. Child, they down there. That daggone Scott. Now they're worried about Scott. Okay, so it's there is true friendship between the guys. I think more so than the women. Their friendship is genuine. They really do genuinely care for each other and want to see the best for each other's families. And they're worried about Scott. They're worried about Scott. They know something ain't right. But men ain't gonna talk like the women talk like that, especially not on camera. Okay, you got some that'll do it for the gram, but they ain't gonna give it all up like that, like the girls do. But they're worried about Scott. Scott got a damn picture of the esthetician that he interviewed and he chose to come into the business with him and Contessa. And he said, Contessa ain't gonna go for it because she bad. Okay. She bad and all that. But you got her up in your phone, bro. What is you doing? And they're looking at him like, you got a picture of her on your phone? I was like, Lord have mercy. Ridiculous. It's just some of his steps. It's like you can't be this clueless, Scott. You're smart. You couldn't be this clueless. But they, Cecil had told me, he said, one thing, you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn to let things go. When it comes to your marriage, I'm going to say, because Cecil, that's how you got into all the trouble with Heavenly, because you wasn't letting things go. But as far as the marriage goes, you're going to have to learn how to let some things go. Just go on and give in to her. And that is necessary. It is necessary. In a marriage, somebody going to be right and somebody going to be wrong. And you can't always fight to be right. When it comes to a relationship, somebody got to give. Somebody got to give. And generally it is, it just unique. That's why we say opposites attract. You got one strong personality and one is not as strong. Y'all don't butt heads and tear the house all the way down. Because somebody will just give in for the greater good and be like, all right, fine, whatever. It is what it is. Somebody got to let it go. And that's what you're going to have to learn that you can't win every argument. That's just the way it is. And that's because Simone is overpowering. She's ridiculous at times. But Cecil knows, just let it go. Let the hoe win and go on. That's how it is. So that was that. I don't know if he was listening. He's shaking his head like he's listening, but it's just like a kid. Are you really listening, Scott? Or are you just saying, yeah, I want you to shut up? But whatever. And he still ain't trying to go to counseling. Whatever, dude. Moving on. All right. So Simone and Jackie had got together. Simone got to telling Jackie about how she was supposed to be doing this whole little event with Lisa. Soon as she said event with Lisa, something went off in my head. I said, oh, everybody know not to do no event with no Lisa Nicole Cloud. Everybody knows not to fool with Lisa. Child, this ain't nothing good coming from this. I said, Lord have mercy. Okay, whatever. So, listen. Lisa then took her idea, basically, took over the whole thing. She's going to do a town hall meeting to try to get people to come out to vote. And Lisa just basically took over the whole idea. And they showed flashbacks. I said, oh, shady Andy, honey. Showed flashbacks of how that went down with Heavenly and Lisa. They were supposed to be doing something together, 50-50. Lisa's putting in her 50%, and Heavenly's putting her 50% of the money in, but Lisa acting like it was her event. Acting like she was an assistant. And here, these were Simone's same gripes. And I was like, first I said, well, let me see when we get to the other part of this episode and see what Lisa is saying. And maybe Simone is putting 20 on 10. No. Lisa was doing what Lisa does. She got a takeover spirit. Period. And that's what she was doing. It was in full effect. I said, that's a mess. That is a whole mess, Miss Lisa. But anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about it a little later. Zachary and Heavenly. You know I love these two. This little duo here. They done bought the house. Gorgeous, gorgeous house. And they turned into an Airbnb. Zachary trying to do his little thing. Yeah, that baby needs some help with the decorating. But come on here, Zachary. Do your thing. So it turned into an Airbnb. Really, really cute. And I thought Heavenly was going to freaking lose it. I thought she was going to lose it. I said, Heavenly, hold it together. You don't want to do the ugly cry on TV. You know you're supposed to be the villain. You can't be on here doing the ugly cry, Heavenly. And Zachary had told her that she was a blessing to them as a mother, that they really loved her, and she was a blessing to them. And I thought Heavenly was going to lose it. I said, I felt that thing. I said, that's beautiful. That was really, really nice. That was really, really nice. I really do love the relationship between Heavenly and Zachary. I really do. Then she get to bothering him, child, and made that baby tell a lie. She said, you know, what kind of woman do you want? You want a woman like Mama, right? He looked at her like, no, why is she going to make me lie on camera? He like, yeah. I said, you have made that baby lie. You know good and damn well. He'll settle for one. Don't nobody want two, girl. Cut it out. Move on. The shade has been thrown. Heavenly, you know your ass is messy. Nobody want that as a wife, girl. Sit down. Nobody but Dr. Dave. Now, Dr. David will take it. He'll take it. Anyway, moving on. So then we got Contessa. I said, well, what is Contessa doing? What's Contessa doing? Okay, so here's where the problem lies. We got Contessa down here. Contessa's doing counseling. But she's doing counseling alone. And I don't know why Scott thinks that that's a good idea. You think that's a good idea, Scott? Do you honestly? You honestly think it's a good idea for Contessa to be doing counseling alone? I don't know about you, but that don't sound like a good idea to me. It really don't. But when the woman asked her, do you trust him with your heart? She just got quiet. Looked like she's going to cry. And the lady said, I'll take that as a no. I said, so here we ain't nothing been solved. This is still a mess. This is still a mess. This is not good. Still a mess. Anyway. And then she said, you know, the thing that really threw it over for her, and she has mentioned this a few times, the thing that really got things all messed up for her, when he told her, I was almost done with you, with the whole little situation with going to school, and she feels as though he's not available to her, and it reminded her of her father. Y'all got a problem, and y'all really do need to address it. Y'all need to address it as a couple, or you two not going to be a couple. And that's that. I'm done talking about it, really. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. Scott, you are up. Period. It just ain't. You got to do your part, baby. That's all. I love them as a couple, but if you don't want to be a couple, just go on. Because, I mean, it's just like pretending that ain't nothing going on. It's a fantastic recipe for disaster. Okay, so let's go over here to Lisa's house. Lisa is planning a meeting for the planning of the town hall meeting, it was a joke. Simone came in with an attitude because she knew it was a joke. Because you are inviting us here to try to play in our faces to make us believe that we're all a part of the planning when you done already planned it. You done already picked the guest list. You done put together a letter and sent the letter out, and the letter signed by you. Very shady, very takeover spirit. And Simone came through with the whole boom, boom, and said, listen, this is my thing. Where I'm irritated, this is about us doing this as a group, not as you actually doing this and doing it all on self and coming out like you trying to have some personal gain. And that's exactly what it was. This whole thing, Simone was completely correct, is a whole clout chase. It's a whole clout chase. A whole clout chase. You using the brand to further your brand, and you ain't even really a castmate to the show for real. I said, Lisa Nicole Cloud, you are one messy honey, but okay. But Simone called her out on it, and they were laughing. Like, they all saw what she was doing, and they kind of like kikied at her. They're laughing at her. She the only one that get the joke, dumbass. Anyway, moving on. Then she was just shady to Heavenly altogether. Heavenly come in, she, going up to hug her and wrapping a tape measure around her waist and stuff. And Heavenly wasn't in the mood. That's all it was. Heavenly wasn't in the mood. Now, the thing about Heavenly, you like to throw shots and you like to take jabs and all of that. So you don't really get the chance to not be in the mood. And you were acting very bitchy. And you weren't here for it. But the thing is, you give that. So you got to be able to receive it, Heavenly. So you kind of was out of, you was out of pocket a little bit. But Lisa Nicole, really, this wasn't the time or the place. Really. I mean, you was trying to make it this whole thing, and you really brought her there to embarrass her. I wouldn't have given off that whole thing of, like, I'm not to be played with. Because if you have that type of energy, you got to keep, there's the phrase, Heavenly, keep up the same energy. So you was kind of out of order to act like you were being victimized. Y'all victimize each other. So I can't get behind you on that one, buddy. But it was what it was. But what you should have did, this was your perfect opportunity to just cuss her ass out. Because that's what I would have did. You think you're going to invite me to your house to try to make a mockery of me or try to clown me? I'll cuss your goddamn ass out. And that's just what I'd have did. I'd have cussed her out right in her house, honey. I'd have gave her, I would have violated Lisa in her house. I would have lit her up with this tongue, honey. I'd have tore her up, honey. I'd have tore her ass up in there. She'd have been so embarrassed, honey. She'd have went upstairs and started sewing something, honey. Would have forgot she even had company. I'd have lit her ass up. Anyway, but that was that. And Heavenly gonna say, girl, be the best bitch. Be the best bitch. I said, girl, stupid child. With the Chanel bag with a scale. And it was really corny. It was really corny. And what you should have did, Heavenly was just cussed her ass out. Now, in the midst of all of that, this is where I started this review off talking about displaced anger. Toya, why are you going off on Jackie? You got a whole issue with Heavenly, and you are just repeatedly going off on Jackie. Well, Jackie wasn't here for it. Jackie, I was like, whoa. Jackie said, watch your tone. I said, oh, girl, Jackie ain't in the mood today. And Toya was steady going at Jackie, basically wanting Jackie to correct. Heavenly is not Jackie's child. She's not. She's not Jackie's child. I don't know what you want from Jackie, Toya. You losing your mind, girl. Jackie then, as I was like, I thought Jackie was ready to blast her. Jackie had told her, like, girl, what is you? No, she correct. Jackie took her. And see, this is that child list for me, some Jackie. Jackie said, I'm taking Toya to the bathroom. See, you wanted, and this was, I said, girl, Miss Jackie, you're everything to me, girl. You want Jackie to treat Heavenly like a child and reprimand her, and you dumbass fool. You didn't even realize, and this is why I call you the fry guy. You didn't even realize that she literally jumped up and sunned you and treated you like a child and took you over there trying to go off on her and embarrass her in front of a room full of women and have a moment, and she took your ass and escorted you to the bathroom like a petulant little child who was getting ready to get a spanking with a slide. Like she had on a pair of slides and she was going to go in that bathroom and take her slide off and spank your ass in that bathroom. You were treated like a child. You got exactly what you wanted her to give to Heavenly. How does it feel? You damn fool. I said, girl, this is why I call you the fry guy. Just as goofy as hell. But Jackie took her in there, got her together. And, you know, she kind of apologized to Jackie, you know, got herself together and told her, I love you, and hugged Jackie. But what she did, she told what the real problem was. And okay, I get it. And I felt for Toya a little bit. I did. I felt for her a little bit. You know, Toya gets on my nerves. But I felt for her a little bit because your feelings are what your feelings are. And you really need to sit down and tell Heavenly how you feel. You really do. You really do. And it may, you know, Heavenly can be a real bitch at times. So you may not get anything out of it, but you'll get it off your chest. And then Heavenly will know. Because you just look crazy right now. Like, you look crazy running around going off, Heavenly. You look crazy because nobody know what you're talking about. Except for Jackie now. You know, so, but it was kind of sad when she said that when they first came there, her and her husband, Eugene, they really looked up to Heavenly and Damon. They met them when they first got there to Atlanta and stuff. And she looked up to her. She just feels like ever since Heavenly got with the group, it's like she takes every opportunity to down talk them and down talk all the things that all of Eugene's accomplishments, and basically she feels like Heavenly puts them down and tries to make them feel less than, and it hurts her feelings. She's hurt. So it made me feel for her, because see, you're rather than right, wrong, or you're delusional. Your feelings are your feelings, and when we're dealing with this now I got you, Tori. Now I can receive what it is you're saying and why you're acting out. But yeah, you need to really sit down and talk to Heavenly. Heavenly may not even know that you feel that way. Now, once you give that to Heavenly, if Heavenly continues on, girl, let her ass have it. And that's all I got to say about this whole little situation. But this little thing with Jackie, girl, don't go off on Jackie no more, because that is a misplaced anger. Jackie ain't do it. Jackie don't owe you nothing for it. That's between you and Heavenly, and you need to talk to Heavenly. But I'm sorry that you're feeling hurt, sis. And I do understand it. I understand now why you're hurt. And it does need to be addressed immediately. All right, y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all later.